And you don't have to turn on your camera or anything. You can just listen or you can join us in the chat. Nayetta, the host of Let Kids Play podcast, and I'm also the owner of the Activity Playhouse, your child's activity play guide. So, the purpose of this Zoom was to have a mom chat to where we could talk about how to create a mom moment at home, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. You know, you have a little help, like your spouse is there to help. They're working, so you're mostly at home with your little ones. So it gets tough for you to either have a moment to yourself or for you to be able to send that email if you run a side business or run your errands, or not necessarily run your errands, make calls, if you need to do anything with bills, do your budget. This We do so much, it's hard for us to balance different responsibilities. So there are three things that we'll discuss tonight: the science behind play, and we'll briefly talk about that because I don't want to bore you with the history of it, because a lot of people feel play it's a trend or a new thing when it's been around for centuries. The ideas for creativity and problem solving, I'll actually leave you with a freebie tonight, and I'll show you, we'll walk through the activities on how easy it is to create activities at home, and also the supply list and how simple it is for you to grab things to for your little ones to use. Okay, let me hit record really quick because I forgot to hit record. I'm new to this, so I usually don't like being on camera or anything like that. Okay, I don't see it. Okay, we won't worry about it. And then the last thing is the play strategies. So, and if you have any questions, I know you're not on camera or audio, and for anyone that's coming into the room, just drop it in the chat and then we'll be good to go. So again, the purpose of this is to introduce and guide you through purposeful play, independent play, and mom moments. So, like I said, a mom moment is for you to just get an opportunity to breathe. Like, we love our kids, but motherhood can be overwhelming sometimes with us juggling the many hats that we wear, because you're the teacher, you're the nurse, you're the friend, the best friend sometimes if your child's the only sibling, your wife, your daughter, sister, just so many things. And trust me, I understand. I have 3 kids. I'm a wife. I take care of my dad. I help take care of my mom. If anyone in my family needs anything, I'm the first person they call. So it's in a homeschool and run the activity playhouse. So I get how overwhelming it can be, and I'm here to guide you through what we need to do. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can just dive straight into the activity that I have for you that you'll be able to print out. But while I pull that up, I'll also talk briefly about the science of play, and then we'll get into the activity ideas and how I can walk you through it. All right, so let me screen share. And then also let me know how old, I believe your little one is. Well, he just turned 2. That's right. So this is perfect. Most of these activities, and that was a cute Play-Doh thing, by the way. That's right in line with us. All right, so let me share my screen here. All right, here we go. So let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. I no longer have access to Zoom to see if we can see it. So let's see. Oh, it went back. Okay, here we go. So this is our weekly activity planner. And you can look at that while I briefly talk about the science of play. So play is not necessarily just like a curriculum or theme or something. Like I said, it's been around for a while. We just haven't been privy to the information, and it's starting to circle back around because scientists and researchers have figured out that kids are lacking in development because this whole thing started with the No Left Behind, the core curriculum. Like, there's like 46 states that use the core curriculum to try to get the kids on the same level and to try to get them to push them academically. But what that did was create uh, um, a deficiency in certain developmental skills that our early childhood children needed. So the push was for, kindergarten K through 12 to have this core curriculum, core knowledge, learning at a certain level, everybody on the same level. When we all know kids are different, kids learn differently, they're developmentally different, they grow differently. Um, so play was just pushed to the side and like whatever, kids don't learn to play, but they actually do. So the three things that I love to point out when I'm talking to anyone about play is the vocabulary, the exploration, and the intellectual growth. So the vocabulary just from playing. So imagine if your little one has like a kitchen set at home, imagine them playing with that kitchen set. So from a worksheet, they won't learn about like a cash register or the order into the process in the order of which to make like a certain dish, or the plates, or the washing of the hands, fake washing the dishes, making different things with Play-Doh. They're not learning that from a worksheet, and they're definitely not learning that from a workbook for a 2 or 3-year-old, because again, the core knowledge and things that are out there believe that the kids under 5 can't learn these things, when they can. You just gotta do it in a playful way. And exploration is the next thing. You have to let these kids explore. There's so much learning in the world around us. They can truly learn from walking outside their door. They can learn from in their house, and pushing the core knowledge and the academic side of things kind of miss the point of developing the whole child, because it's more than just the reading and the math, because that stuff will come. It's more of the social emotional skills. It's more the creativity, innovative, and problem solving, helping kids like think outside the box is what I like to say. And then so the last one was the intellectual growth, which leads to like the creativity and problem solving. Like kids aren't they aren't allowed to be creative. Like a lot of people frown on process art. Process art is where kids are allowed to figure it out on their own. The crafts are cute. The teacher-led crafts are cute, but what if the child-led? What do you think you'll see? You'll be able to see them be creative. You'll see them be able to explore. You'll see them build their vocabulary, because they're going to explain what they built from their mind. So in my past, with doing art classes with little ones, parents are just shocked at what their kids create, because we do process art and we only use primary colors, because primary colors is the easiest way to teach your kids to mix colors, which is them exploring as well. So instead of doing like a craft to where, okay, we're all gonna do this rainbow, we're gonna do this color, clouds, and things like that, and we're gonna do it in this U shape or whatever. I gave the kids the colors and let them figure it out. Most of the time, especially the 2 to 3-year-olds, they made rainbows in their own little way. Sometimes it's a zigzag, curve, straight lines, whatever they wanted, but they also mixed the colors in the process, versus me giving them all the colors in the rainbow and saying paint within this line. They were able to explore and figure out which colors made which wet. So like for my son, for example, his favorite color is green. So he figured out how to mix green from always, like, they just explore and it looks like a mess, but again, it's learning through play and exploring. So he figured out how to mix green, and I just built on that, because blue and yellow, makes green, and he will tell you that. He can tell you what makes purple. And then that's another thing of them exploring and being creative. You only gave me 3 colors. What am I supposed to do with this? Figure it out, put it on a paper, see what happens. So that's the beauty in letting them explore. All right, so that was my little spiel. Let me know again if you have any questions. I know you can't get on audio or video, so you can leave it in the chat or you can send me a message. So this is a quick and easy weekly activity planner that you can actually do starting tomorrow. Like literally, you can prep for this if you have rubber bands. If you don't have rubber bands, then it'll be a little hard, but other than that, you can literally start doing this in the morning. Like before you go to sleep tonight, you can prep these 2 activities, and then you'll have something for your toddler to do in the morning. So the rubber band ball is simple, and it most of the activities with play based, let me just go back. Most of the activities with play based, they can go for 2, 3, 4 to extend 4 activities to extend the play. So you'll see that here. as well. So the rubber band ball is literally the kids taking a balled up piece of paper. Let me see if I can ball. I got an index card here, so I do an index card. So just balling up a piece of paper, or index card in my case. It doesn't matter what it is. You can say scrap paper if you got something in a notebook. Ball it up, and then they start to create rubber bands. Just put rubber bands around it. So one, especially with kids under 5, what are we doing? We're smooshing and rolling. We're working on our fine motor skills. Why fine motor skills important? Because the next thing they're going to be learning is how to hold that pencil. We're building the muscles in their hands for them to hold a pencil. So, and then also with the rubber band, we're stretching and we're pulling. So again, we're doing fine motor. Now we're doing gross motor because we're doing big movements, which is gross motor. So the fine motor is the smaller activities like this, and gross is when you get into the bigger movements and then the jumping and things like that. And then also to activate the left and right side of the brain, we're doing the mid cross when we're pulling the rubber band. So there's so many learning things within just doing a rubber band ball, and it's simple. So let me show you this. So we have a supply list. So for the rubber band ball, all you need is 2 items: large bag of rubber bands and scrap paper. That's it. That's all you need. And then you have an activity that you can put out in the morning for them to do. And they're going to be engaged because 1, they're either going to see how big they can get the ball, or 2, they're going to see how, that's the extended activity. 2, they're going to see how high it can bounce. And that's where the exploration comes in at, because they may just, so the first time, especially if your kid is not used to sitting still for a while, they may put like 4 or 5 rubber bands on here. Like their first challenge may be to cover it, and then they may get bored. So that's where you can step in like, I wonder what happens if I drop it. I wonder what happened. And then of course they'll want to see, or if your child is competitive, you do it with them. And you turn it into a quality time activity instead of an independent activity, and you make it a competition. My ball could be better than your ball, or let's see if your ball can bounce higher than my ball, and or if you have siblings, you incorporate that way. So rubber band ball is simple, little to no prep for you, and you're good to go. You don't even have to pull this stuff out tonight. You can pull it out when you're making breakfast. And so the quality time activity is where I put the messy, quote unquote, activities, where it will require you to not necessarily prep, but it will require you to do a little more cleanup. And I put that under the quality time activity along with dinner, because you're already in the kitchen. They're probably in the kitchen with you if they're like my toddler, and then you already have to clean it up. So before I move on to explain the quality time activity, so I put a business spot in here because most of the moms at home, stay-at-home moms, they're either running their business or they're helping their spouse run their business. So this is the time that you will put when they're doing a rubber band ball. If your toddler is not used to being independent, you'll probably be sitting next to them while they do it, but you're able to send an email. You're able to make that phone call without them snatching the phone out your ear or screaming at the top of their lungs, "Mommy!" I understand. I promise I do. So that's what that slide is for. And you'll get this at the end of this call. I'll put it in the chat, and also email it to you, or send it to you on IG, whichever works best. But so that's a spot for you to put in whatever it is that you need to do to kind of keep you organized. Like, when I do this activity, this is what I need to do, because this activity will take them about 20 minutes. So it helps you also get more organized with your task and responsibilities. So if you know, okay, I need to send these 3 or 4 emails, this is the time that I do that. If I need to do the family budget, this is the time. If I need to fold clothes, this is the time that I do those things. And so the smell of the rainbow is simple. You're already cooking dinner, so I suggest pulling out some different things for them to use that's edible as well. So you have the colorful bell peppers, carrots, celery, mango, strawberries. So they can smell these things. It can be things that you can incorporate in dinner. I put the supply list of those different things just to give you a variety of the colors for the rainbow, but you can put something that goes along with your dinner into that activity, or this quality time activity could be their snack as well. So it could be, are you new to Georgia and you're looking for a home? You don't know where to start. You don't know where to look, because you could go right and it's a good community. You could go left and it's like, let me back up. Check out Kiara Jennings at Sold by Kiara on Instagram. She's a wonderful realtor. You can Google her. She's born and raised in Georgia, the Atlanta area, Stockbridge, Ellenwood, Rex, Georgia, just all over Henry County, DeKalb County. If you're looking for someone that was born and raised here that really knows the area like the back of their hand, they're all about you and your family. They know the schools. They're really familiar with the communities and the development of the communities in Georgia. Please reach out to Kiara Jennings. You can find her on Instagram at Soul by Kiara. To just find your dream home. She's always helped me and my family, and she can help yours too. Use this next time. So like I said, most of the play-based activities are interchangeable. I just put it by dinner because most of the time moms need help at dinner time. If their spouse is not there to grab the toddler, because the toddler will sit right there and sometimes it becomes unsafe. And sometimes like my toddler, he'll cook with me, but sometimes it's a bit much depending on what dish I'm cooking. All right, so the next one is the builder binoculars. So all right, you did the rubber band ball. That's something that they can work on, throw, toss. You can do that the next day, or we can move on and we'll keep that as a, toy for you to pull out to keep them occupied. Add more rubber bands, add different colors. Like the colorful rubber bands are great for this activity. You can get them from Dollar Tree. Perfect. The builder binoculars. So the builder binoculars is simple as well. We're on Tuesday over here. So you have the toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, and you just cut it in half. Your hole puncher is optional. You can just stick a little hole in it with the scissors. Construction paper if you want. Or you can just take white paper, notebook paper, wet. So the point of this is to keep it simple and use whatever you have. You can use yarn, you can use ribbon, or they can just hold it. They don't need it to have it around their neck, but it's cool for them to have around their neck. So they're just going to build binoculars, and then if you want to extend the activity, you can do the I Spy, and they use their binoculars with the I Spy. So that's something they can do, and then you can add markers and crayons for them to decorate their binoculars. Simple, quick, easy. And then so the quality time activity is oatmeal ooze. Oatmeal ooze is 3 ingredients: flour, water, and oatmeal. You mix half a cup of flour, half a cup of water, and you add the oatmeal oats and let them mix it in. So this activity is good because you can let them be independent, very independent, to get the water themselves, to get the flour themselves. You can pour it using measuring cups because the pouring is the fine motor skills as well. And then they're touching different things. So they're filling the water, they're filling the flour, they're filling the oats from the oatmeal, and they're mixing them together, and they can use their hands. Some kids don't like getting their hands messy, so you can add gloves if your kid has a sensory thing. And sometimes what I love about these sensory activities is it actually helps your child avoid being a picky eater, depending on your child. So in class, sometimes I would see a kid that would like be hesitant about touching the stuff, or kind of, like, I don't know if I like how this feel. But as we continue to work on it more and do it more, then the parents are like, oh, they ate something they never ate before, like a mashed potatoes, for example. It gives you that texture, which is weird for kids, and we're like, no, you need to eat your food. Sometimes it's a sensory thing, so letting them feel it first before they actually taste it and put it into their mouth helps a whole lot with that. So with the oatmeal ooze, they're just mixing it together again, building those hand muscles, fine motor skills. And then they have clay, so they can play with that like Play-Doh. And if you're play-based, Play-Doh. Play-Doh will last a good 20-30 minute activity, especially if you add a butter knife in there and cookie cutters and stuff like that. You'll forget your toddler is next to you. So we have about 10 minutes left, so be sure to ask me questions if you need to. I'm going to try to run through these 8 activities really quick. So we have the nature hunt. So the nature hunt, the good thing about that is, like I said, they build on each other. So on Wednesday, you'll take the binoculars that you made on Tuesday, and you'll use that for your nature hunt. And all you need is a plastic bag. Go outside. It's becoming fall. The trees are losing their leaves. Find some leaves, rocks, bring it in the house. And then for dinner, the potato stamp. So that would be the night, like Wednesday. This also helps with dinner prep. So Wednesday, make something with potatoes. you cut up your potatoes. You can use the small or big ones. It's cool to use different sizes because that builds vocabulary. And that's a math skill. Big or small, opposites, things like that. You see how just playing creates so many developmental and milestone goals for them to reach. So you can set a goal like, okay, this week I want my kids to work on opposites, big and small. Potato stamp it's simple, and then because they're using their hands while you're purposefully teaching that to them, then they'll remember it as well. So potato stamps, I recommend using big or small, and then using some taste safe paint for them to stamp it, or you can use like some food coloring flour and water, mix it to make it taste safe. I won't say edible because we don't want them to eat it, but we don't want them to indulge any toxic chemicals as well. So that's the taste safe paint, just flour, water, and food color, and they can stamp around the paper and things like that. So the next one is the leaf rubbing. The leaf rubbing comes from what you did on Wednesday, your nature hunt. Whatever you collected, you put those items between two papers and let them rub on it with the crayons and things like that, and that's your activity. The more you collect, the longer the activity is. And then we have the rainbow window paint. So the rainbow window paint is kind of like for some parents, but I promise you they'll love it because it creates so much fun with them talking and seeing outside the window and what they see while they're doing the painting. So you can either get they actually have the window crayons on Amazon, or with the food coloring. I wouldn't use the food coloring. So with the taste safe paint, you would do the water, flour, and then you do like a pack of Kool-Aid or something, not the actual food coloring for the rainbow window paint. But you let them paint the different colors, and again, we only use 3 colors, the primary colors, and let them mix on the window. You can leave it there because on Friday they're going to be window washers. So you get them, and I have the supplies down here. So you get them a squeegee from Dollar Tree, a spray bottle, let them spray, wipe it, because they like helping you clean up. It's just we get so frustrated because we're trying to get it done. We're like, oh, I got it. Let them have fun. Get them a little, I forgot, a washcloth if they don't like the squeegee. But yeah, let them clean it, and then, I like to mess with my toddler because Dion is my wild child. So as he maybe clean the window or something, I may put my handprints on it and he'll get upset with me, mommy, make that little face. But it's helping him to, understand that things will happen that's outside of your control. Again, work on that social emotional. So if he gets upset, we talk about it, I apologize, and we work through those emotions. And then so Friday and the weekend activities, these are optionals, because Monday through Friday activities are already rough. We usually relax on the weekends. But if you want that quality time, extended quality time, or independent, you have a business to do on the weekends, we have more activities there. So the frozen ice rescue, you just need your ice tray, water. I say 2 hours of prep time because you need to freeze it, and then you do the small toys. I say small, depending on your child's age. You can do the big toys. I'm in my office, so I don't really have toys. Let me see. Okay, so like a marker. A fun thing, because I've been doing this so long, I can really think of all this stuff off the top of my head. So you can legit stick their washable markers into the ice cube tray like this and let it freeze the bottom, and they have to rescue the markers for them to do their art activity for the day. So something simple like that, or their favorite toys. Like for Dion, I would do cars, so I would put the cars in there, maybe 6 to 8, freeze those, and then on the other side, because we're doing the VisiCube rescue for the weekend, which is a science experiment as well, I would do the baking soda paste, so baking soda, water, and you freeze that, and then you just add vinegar to it to rescue it. So you can either use the little pipettes to do that, or they can use that spray bottle again to spray it and watch it fizz up. You can add some colors to it, things like that. So our last one is arrange the vegetables. So that one is something simple because, like I said, the weekend can be laid back, where they just arrange the vegetables into different areas. So you can do the patterns if you're working on that, or like before, you can play on the potato stamps where it's big and small and the opposites, and you can do that as well, or you can sort and arrange it by colors. So you see how just these simple activities creates like a whole thing of learning that did not involve a worksheet. It did not involve you hours and hours on Pinterest. It did not involve you hours and hours of prepping. Like, it's simple prep, simple activities that you have at home. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quick. Hey, thank you for joining us. Sorry I didn't see you in the waiting room. We were I was sharing my screen. So I'll do a quick recap right quick. Let me check the chat. Sorry. Okay. So love that. Yes, we're obsessed with Play-Doh too. So obsessed with Play-Doh. Like, that's my favorite thing to do. So I'll go back and share this for you. Danny, thank you for joining us. So I'll share this real quick while I do the recap. Because like I said, I did not want to keep you all long. So this is our weekly activity planner. And I'm sorry, I couldn't see the chat while I was doing this. But just a quick recap. Let me get some water because... Okay. So the goal of this Zoom was purposeful play, independent play, and mom moments. It was truly a mom moment chat because, like I said, I'm a mom of 3. I can truly relate to sometimes being overwhelmed, sometimes being frustrated, sometimes just want to drink my coffee in peace. Or, just read a book next to my toddler and not be pulled on because, again, if you know my wild child, he'll stand on my neck sometimes. So this weekly activity planner that I'm sharing with you helps avoid some of those things, helps with those things, help me get things done in my business, with the errands around the house and things like that. So we have 12 activities here. And then I also have the supply list here for you. And as you can see, each day requires little to nothing. Most of these, if not all, are household items depending on what you have at home. And you'll get this at the end. Sorry, going back to stop sharing. You'll get all of this stuff at the end of, this Zoom meeting. So be sure, if I don't have you, if you're not subscribed to my email list, subscribe or add it in the chat for me real quick, and I'll make sure that you get that download for you to start doing activities tomorrow. I know it's Labor Day, but if you need to help your spouse cook, or if you're going to a family event and you don't want your toddler running around, I don't mind the run around, but sometimes it can get a bit much for other people. So sometimes we'll sit down, take a break, and do an activity. So purposeful play, independent play, and mom moments are what the activity planner is giving you, or should give you. And I hope that it can help you with that. And then the science behind the play, the 3 things were the vocabulary, exploration, and intellectual growth, which is the creativity and the problem solving. So we have a couple of minutes for Q&A. If you all have any questions, please let me know. I know that I can talk fast, especially when I'm nervous. So let me know if you didn't catch anything, or if you would like me to go over something. I know I said we'll end at 9:30, but if you have questions, I can stick around for a little bit to answer those questions for you. Most of the activities are, like I said, household items. Quick prep, like you can pull it out while you're making breakfast in the morning. They work on the fine motor, gross motor, social emotional skills, just everything that your child needs to meet their milestones and developmental goals, and prepare them for pre-K, if I'm being honest, but in a fun and playful way that they are engaged, they're having fun, they're learning, and you're getting a mom moment. Because that's the goal, right? To be that mom where you're teaching your kid at home, but you're also not, stressed out or overwhelmed, because we don't want that. That's not good for you nor your child.